All right, thank you for staying with us. You're still listening to the Evening Rush right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Esther Wachiko. On the Evening Rush, like I said during the introduction, we get to look at topical issues across Nigeria's socio-economic and political landscape. These are the hot topics, okay? And today is Tuesday, Tuesday, April 22. So the month of April is gradually winding down. For Christian faithfuls, I don't think they would consider April as one of the months to rejoice. April is a month of mourning, actually. A lot of Christians died. A lot of people were killed in this month of April. It's a very big question. What do we do? Well, the president has returned back to the country. So he actually met with the National Security Advisor as well as other security chiefs. It has to do with the current recent killings in Benue and Plateau states, as well as one that currently occurred in Kwara. Another one happened in Kaduna today. There was an explosion where 2 children were killed and about 3 or 4 others injured. In Kwara state, 7 persons were killed in that attack. So we've been having sporadic attacks across some states in the country. And if you think that right here in the southwest we're safe, it's not the case. Trust me, because it's actually coming down here. Inter-Society had to do a comprehensive report as to the number of deaths that has occurred so far. In fact, in that comprehensive report, they said about 20,000 Christians have been killed, specifically in the southeast. They also made reference to not just 20,000 Christians, they also made reference to 2,000 churches and 3,000 schools that have been burnt down and persons displaced from these communities by these terrorists. And it's a very serious situation, and they're calling on the international bodies. In fact, the United States is already saying that they're being urged, the United States has been urged to declare Nigeria as a country of particular concern. So the president is back. Discussions will be held as to the current spate of killings in the country, and the NSA, being the Nigerian security advisor and Nigeria's service chief since the president's return, there are discussions about the escalating violence and killings across the country. You know that there have been permutations. These are social and traditional media suggesting about the emergence of a new terrorist organization in Kwara State, Mamuda. Security sources have clarified that it is not a name of a terrorist group, but rather a known Boko Haram commander. They said that he is a veteran Boko Haram fighter who initially operated in Borno State before relocating to Kaduna, where he briefly collaborated with the notorious terror kingpin Sadiku, and that he later moved into the Shiroro and Rafi axis of Niger State, where he aligned with the remnants of Jerusalem, recruiting dozens of youth and enforcing extremist laws, particularly on Fulani headsmen. Nigeria Security Intelligence confirms that Mahmuda has since moved from some of his fighters further southwest into the forest bordering Kwara State, where he has established ties with local bandit groups. So the recent abduction and killings in Kwara State is obviously, a display of that group, already being in that particular region, and that the element is not a new organization, that they are extensions of Boko Haram collaborating with bandits already operating in the northwest. So they have actually moved down southwest, and Nigerians are being asked to see how they can protect themselves. They need to be vigilant, they need to stay alert. The DSS chief has told Nigerians to stay alert and see how they can protect themselves. A former chief security officer has told Nigerians that you need to protect yourself. As it stands now, the government cannot do anything for you. Adebayo is calling the president incompetent because he's not been able to rectify some of the things he disclosed during his campaign. I'm sure you all listened to his campaign statement in Chatham House concerning security, where we had El Rufai in his corner then giving a breakdown of what they were going to do or the steps that they were going to take in handling the spate of insecurity in the country. Unfortunately, we've not seen any of that development. But we have Ortega Ogra, who is actually stating categorically that as it stands, Nigeria seems to be doing quite okay. That the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing well in terms of the fact that they believe that the debt profile has subsided. Nigeria's debt has dropped by $14 billion under President Bola Tinubu's administration. reduction. This was made by Otega Ogra. According to him, he says the president's strategic leadership, prudent fiscal management, and macroeconomic reforms are a testimony to this reduction, all right, on our debt and economic recovery and prosperity under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He revealed that the administration has successfully cleared all verified foreign exchange backlogs of about $7 billion, while gross external reserves grew from $33.0 billion in 2023 to approximately $40.9 billion by the end of 2024. Otega Ogra is saying that the president did not just say, but that he is performing, and that this is basically what his economic policies has promised, and the president is already delivering. In other words, Nigerians should just be patient and let most of the policy reforms of the president begin to work out. As it stands right now, our borrowing has reduced, our debt profile has already been paid off, that the International Monetary Fund is quite surprised as to what the administration has been able to achieve in the past 2 years, although they still feel that the president's economic reforms are very tasking on Nigerians. Well, like I said, with the resurgence in insecurity and the escalating tensions in Nigeria's polity, it's not giving the wherewithal or the belief that indeed the president is doing what it says it's going to do. If the United States is calling for Nigeria to be declared a nation of particular concern. All right. Now, another thing to also consider is Omoyele Sowore. In fact, let me just play you a recent statement he made when he addressed the press very recently. He's not just speaking against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Omoyele Sowore is also calling out the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in 2023 presidential election. He had quite a lot to say about Mr. Peter Obi, the former Anambra State governor. Nigerians were now asking Omoyele Sowore, what happened? Why are you on the neck of Peter Obi? Who would you consider to be the true leader if everyone actually has something that you don't like, or there is a complaint on any person? Why are you not synergizing with the other opposition leaders? Is it all the opposition you consider to be incompetent? Well, let's take a listen to Omoyele Sowore as addressing the press recently about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and asking Nigerians to rally behind him, Omoyele Sowore, and not President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Being outside the country is a small problem. You understand? The president never told you he will be in the country because he never campaigned to be president of Nigeria. It was INEC that imposed him on you. You understand? We told you when he was coming to office that the man is sick. Nobody listened to us. They even sang a song, Baba is sick and he's falling apart. Nobody listened to us. We told you that he's coming to govern Nigeria with his family. You didn't listen to us. Now that he's in power, we are calling him president. And now that he doesn't govern from Abuja, he's governing on WhatsApp. You are worried about it. Start listening to what we tell you so that when the problem comes, you not keep asking us the same question over and over again.
Okay, Mr. Sowore,
yes.
I want you to call his spade his spade.
Yes.
Before Tinubu, there was Buhari.
Yes.
Regarding security, he promised that the issue be solved. Tinubu came the same thing, but the problem persists. How are we sure you will be different?
I am different because I have prepared myself for over 35 years. 35 years. I have been fighting against insecurity, corruption. I'm one of the few people that fought for democracy in this country. And I have told you before that the people who claim to be governing Nigeria now never fought for democracy. I was the one who told you that Tinubu was selling drugs. In Chicago in 1993, when we were fighting for democracy with Abiola here in Nigeria, they were in bed with Abacha, but pretending that they were fighting for democracy under Nadeko. I have said this, I've granted this interview in several places. How do you know who is different? It's a person who has been consistent. It's a person with character. It's a person you can trust, who you can close your eyes and go to bed and you know that the person will not betray you. You understand? Are you getting my point? You know, I used to make a joke with a friend of mine. In the last election, there are two of us whose name existed in the Bible. One of them was Peter, my name is Stephen. One betrayed Jesus 3 times. The other one was stoned by charlatans. The charlatans in this country keep stoning their saviors. That's the problem.
All right, that's Omoyele Shawara right there speaking on what he considers, promoting himself and say that he has been consistent. Nigerians do not choose those who intend to liberate them, but rather they like to choose their oppressors. That's quite a lot if you consider that particular scenario. Well, we'll be talking and looking into that in the course of the conversation. Also, you know that there is tension in Nigeria's oil-rich country, where rather oil-rich states, that is rivers, where they're considering the fact that political hands are being shaken. For example, the uncertainty that emanated in terms of peace, where you've been having protest and counter protest between supporters of suspended Governor Sim Fubara and supporters of Nyesom Wike and supporters of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whether the protests are sponsored or not. We've been having series of protests. In fact, Rivers has decided to go spiritual on the case of Governor Sim Fubara in order for him to be restored. Now, according to the Africa report, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu met with Governor Sim Fubara, who was suspended on March 18, 2025, in a private meeting last week, according to the aides of the president. The meeting took place in London shortly after Tinubu's return from Paris, and it was reportedly initiated by Governor Sim Fubara. And obviously, according to these reports, that Governor Sim Fubara is eager to return to office since the president declared a state of emergency. Well, according to a presidential aide, it is true. Governor Fubara held a private meeting with the president last week. Fubara has promised to make some compromises. Negotiations are ongoing, but from all indications, his suspension will be lifted before the 6-month deadline. This statement was made by a presidential advisor speaking anonymously and confirming to the Africa report. Fubara is also reportedly open to joining the ruling All Progressives Congress to gain favor with the president, which could strengthen the APC's prospects in Rivers State. Now, if Fubara joins the APC, it means the president's chances of winning Rivers State are much higher. However, Fubara's estranged political godfather, and that is Nyesom Wike, currently serving as Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, was reportedly not part of the meeting and is uncomfortable with the behind-the-scenes discussions. Alright, Tinubu, though, is expected to facilitate a meeting between Wike, Fubara, and Rivers State lawmakers to address the ongoing crisis in the state. We know that the political turmoil in Rivers State began after Fubara's suspension by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on March 18, which followed the explosion of 2 oil pipelines. Security officials had traced the pipeline or the explosion to a feud between Fubara and 27 state lawmakers loyal to Wike, but this is coming from the federal government. So Fubara has denied that he had any hand in that pipeline explosion that occurred before the president declared a state of emergency. And you know that Nigeria depends on oil for revenue, approximately 60% of government income and 90% of its foreign exchange. So the president's administration decided to declare a state of emergency in Rivers to prevent further instability. In other words, the economy is more important than security. The president cannot allow the basic income of this country to be jeopardized, and that's why a state of emergency was declared. You all have been asking, why has a state of emergency not been declared on insecurity that has resurfaced across some of the states in the country? Well, as it stands right now, maybe the lives of people are not equal to anything that will limit internal revenue or whatever would generate income for the country. So while that could be secondary, the economy is primary, and that's why they had to face declare a state of emergency there for concentration to be in Rivers to ensure that there'll be no further explosion of the pipeline. So as it stands now, Fubara is meeting with the president, and basically there are conditions that will be met. Fubara would have to give up some things. Now there are speculations as to the fact that if Fubara is going to accept these conditions and possibly defect to the All Progressives Congress, he has to promise the president that Rivers State he will deliver it for 2027. Now, the fact that Wike was not part of the conversation could basically because Wike has said he wanted Fubara removed. So if Wike was part of the conversation, there may be no compromise. According to this presidential aide who spoke to the Africa Report, who did not want his name mentioned, there is a very possibility that these conditions will be stipulated by the president. If Fubara agrees to it, then Fubara may return before the 6 months elapses. The Easter message of Fubara, you heard him telling people of Rivers to adhere to the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So as it stands, whatever political strategy that is being employed, it seems like the president is winning in all of this. That's the thing. So what is going on with the opposition? In as much as our economy seems to be on the streets, Nigerians are not feeling the upliftment, and insecurity is on the rise. For politics, the president is not dwindling. He's not sitting down and drinking tea. He is working overtime. 2027, the APC is not relenting. So what exactly and why is the coalition quiet? Now, let's look at what Amoyele Sowore said about Peter Obi. He called Peter Obi a pretender. He said Peter Obi is a packaged fraud. He does not believe in the disposition of Peter Obi. At some point next week, we'd like to bring in Amoyele Sowore on the station. I really want to ask him all these questions. Number one, what exactly is your issue with Peter Obi? Have you had any personal encounter? Is there something that he did that you feel you don't trust his disposition? That's one. Two, what are his antecedents that you have issues with, that you consider him incompetent not to be the president? We're going to bring in, we will try, we've been reaching out to him, so we're able to have a conversation with him to discuss all of this. He's been talking about the coalition. He says the coalition will not work because they're very weak and they're distracted and they're not consistent. They're all about power grab, and specifically he doesn't trust Peter Obi. So let's listen to him, and from there we'll proceed with the conversation. I will introduce my guests in the studio.
Knowing that, I will, I don't think
All right, that was Amoyele Shurara right there saying what he likes to say most of the time. We all know him. He's very brazen, very bold. He doesn't hide what he thinks about anyone in this political class. And this is not the first time he has said stuff like this about Peter Obi. He has been quite consistent. So the question Nigerians are asking is, if you have all these issues, how do you know that you're the person that is competent enough? That's one. Other Nigerians believe that Omoyele Sowore is possibly being, would I say, working for the administration in power. A couple of people feel that he's deliberately trying to distract the opposition and let them not focus on whatever it is that they want to do to form a coalition ahead of 2027. But in the same breath, he's advocating that Nigerians should consider him, that he indeed represent what it takes. Meanwhile, a PDP chieftain ahead of the 2027 general elections, Segun Showumi, is saying that Peter Obi should join the PDP to boost his chances in the next presidential race. Showumi, a former spokesperson for Atiku Abubakar's presidential campaign, made the call during an appearance on a recent Mic on podcast with Seun Okinbaloye. He said, looking ahead to 2027, the PDP of Nigeria will open its processes, announce when the forms are available, and anyone who feels confident enough to contest should step forward and do so. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm introducing to you Mr. Lawal Ekundayo. Mr. Lawal Ekundayo is a political, national, and social affairs commentator. Mr. Lawal Ekundayo, good evening and thank you for joining us today.
Good evening.
We're so sorry. The studio is quite hot and very uncomfortable. So if you're watching us on YouTube and you're seeing me hold a hand fan, a lot of things have been worked on, so it's not really comfortable, but the job must go on, right? People don't understand. They say that media practitioners are the most underpaid, and we are so consistent with the jobs that we do because of the passion. You have to have the passion to do what you do. Mr. Lawal Kundayo, good evening.
Good evening.
Happy Easter in our ears.
Yeah.
How was your Easter?
Just like any other day.
Like any other day.
I didn't even know there was a
Easter. To be honest, everyone was just quiet. Like nothing really was going on.
It was just dry. It was Easter I've ever
holiday
experienced in my life.
Now wow. You didn't bite everybody, you do everybody. Alright, Mr. Lawal Kundayo. So, Fubara has eventually kowtowed. You remember his Easter message, right, to the people of Rivers, saying that they should trust and believe in the president's renewed hope agenda. And the presidential aid, obviously this is coming from the presidency, the administration knows how to use the media very well. They're saying that he wanted to see the president. And you remember that they said there are about 3 PDP governors that intend to defect to the All Progressives Congress. Now, meeting with Fubara in London before he returned, there are negotiations ongoing and certain conditions would have to be met. Now, you have been a strong advocate of Fubara. You've actually had a lot of good words to say. Do you think that people would be disappointed with this?
I would be disappointed if he crosses to APC. I'll be disappointed. The reason is because, why do you want to do that? What do you want to gain? I don't understand. This is a ruling party that has made your governance or governable. So, and then you now want to, divert. What about your supporters who have stood by you? Did you take their consent? Some are even protesting in Rivers State on his behalf at the moment. I mean, within this time, there's a lot of protest to support him. And what is he going to tell them? That he betrayed them, because if he decides to cross to APC, that means he's doing it on his own. Yes, that's why I wonder about Nigerian system. I wonder seriously. I don't understand what crop of politicians we have. The president is in France on working visit, and the next thing we hear is that the governors are going from Nigeria to meet him there to discuss. It sounds. I don't understand. I don't like Nigerians they are not part of they are not part of permutation when it comes to politics in Nigeria. That's the way it sounds. Your country is boiling. There's hunger everywhere. Education is very, very low. I saw if you see the YA questions these days, it's got that the questions are so substandard compared to like 30 years ago, in which the question were very standard. This days, question is is below standard. It's below standard. To let you know that the standard is reducing. Keep reducing. Keep reducing. Look at agriculture. With billions, trillions spent on agriculture, nothing to show for it. And any time we hear our president talk, most of them is always about 2027 that we hear our politicians talking about. 2027, 2027. As if life of Nigerians doesn't matter. I don't understand. And every now and then you see them defecting immediately. Why are you defecting? I don't know. Why are you defecting? Don't you have your policy? You have your policy. You know why you are elected. And then the next thing you are defecting to other parties that have the same, different ideology from your own. You are defecting immediately, embracing the ideology, embracing their own policies, totally different from your own policies. So definitely you are just an opportunist. You are not politicians. You are just opportunists. You are just stooges and tools to be used by higher power in politics. I don't understand. So it's going to disappoint me. It's going to disappoint the people of Rivers, most of them, because they stood by him throughout. Some of them were even protesting. Some of them have even maybe been arrested or victimized because of this man. And then you want to go and defect. The moment you defect, I believe it's going to disappoint most people in Rivers State and many people in Nigeria and people who trusted him in the world as a strong opposition who has been standing his ground.
All right, let's listen to Segun Shomi. He actually had quite a lot to say about the opposition party, specifically as a PDP. And he said that they will not be merging, that the PDP is a brand, and that they're going to deal with those who have betrayed them. The reason we're talking about all of this is that these are the persons that will decide the next path that Nigeria would go, specifically from 2027. And if their promises will hold about ending insecurity, boosting the economy, and ensuring that Nigerians are able to enjoy a little dividends of governance. All right, so let's listen to Segun Shomi.
Councillor, he can't get himself elected. The energy that party members, party faithful, loyal men put in is too much. No governor, however highly placed, should ever stand on the podium of our party and be saying that. You can appreciate the president privately. You cannot demarket our party, and you need to be very careful. You know, you are one of our people that we really love, but if you say you are not going to be with us, maybe we will also not be with you. Thank you.
All right, well.
presents and the way forward. Well, like I said earlier, it is quite important for us to look at these issues objectively. Now, the big question is the fact that some political stalwarts, based on what Segun Shomi is saying, they're advocating that if Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar can come back together, possibly Peter Obi a vice, Atiku the president, then fine. But others believe that what political party would that Atiku should drop that ambition for now. That's what they are disclosing. Another thing they're also considering is, especially for the obedient movement, that Peter Obi has that wide-reaching appeal. So why can't Peter Obi be the president for the next 4 years and Atiku Abubakar the next 4 years? You know, they rotate it. That's what they're suggesting. How would you react to this?
Second, E2, if you look at that 2023 election, he pulled weight. You get it? The only problem was that if they had combined, it would have been bigger. You get 12 year combined would have been like 24 or 23 versus 12 that APC had. So I still see that he has that popularity. One, he has the health. Two, he has the experience. Three, and then Obi also has the same thing. You get? Now, the big question is it about them or about Nigeria? You get it? They will eventually leave this post. Even if you spend 30 years, you will leave eventually. Okay. You have seen presidents in Nigeria, Africa, who have spent over 30-something years. They eventually left, and some of them are dead. Is that not it? We have a Mugabe, we have a so they eventually left. So to look like you have not been there before. Okay. So they should think about this country as the main priority. If you think about this country as the main priority, then each person should put aside his own personal ambition and look at what will move this country forward. If the two of them combine, you get it. It's not a bad thing.
Okay, so what happened is the very fact that Atiku ran in 2023 was a major problem, because they felt that the zoning wasn't respected, and that was what created that faction of the G5. The agreement in the PDP was that if the presidential candidate will come from the north, then the chairman of the party should actually come from the south. Or if the chairman of the party comes from the north, then obviously the presidential candidate should come from the south. Wike wanted to be the one that would represent the PDP as either the presidential candidate or the vice, but Atiku Abubakar did not, pick him as a candidate. And a lot of people in the PDP are not happy. They are saying that if Atiku wants any form of ambition, a lot of them don't want that with him. They're not supporting any form of coalition. However, they don't want any coalition. That's what they're saying. They feel they're a brand, and that right now, after their national convention, a lot of things will be re-strategized. In one, the candidates that will fly, which needs to obviously have that national appeal, widespread appeal. Two, don't want people who are just so stricken into grabbing power. And three, the zoning needs to be respected. That was basically what happened. If Atiku had respected the zoning formula, that at this point in time, the PDP would have been in power. Do you agree with that?
No. The zoning is a party thing. It's not a national thing. Because me, I don't really believe in zoning. I don't.
No, but I think that was one of.
But it's their party.
That one's one policy. Of the issues. That's part of the policy.
It's their party issue. Yes. It's their party policy.
Party arrangement.
Arrangement within them, which is okay. If it is your party arrangement, you all agree about it. It's fine. There's no problem about that. And I noticed too that in that 2023, Atiku showed a lot he was over ambitious.
Atiku has always been ambitious. It's not just in 2023.
20 years because there's so many allegations about him that maybe he spent money to
2015, 2019, 2023. He has been ambitious. He's been overly ambitious.
Ambitions and over ambitions.
No, he's whatever way you want to describe it. It's obvious that it's all about the power.
Taking extreme measures to get to that place.
Which has caused the party what the party is going through now.
I understand. And that's why I said last time that that was what APC took advantage of and put that hornet in their midst to help scatter them properly. You get it? But apart from that, that's why I said that you are going to leave it eventually. You get it? You are going.
Who is going to leave what eventually?
Even if you stayed here for 8 years, for 20 years, you are going to leave that place eventually.
They don't care about leaving eventually.
That is the problem I have with Nigerian politicians. When you talk about, like, I want to really talk about that merger, and I don't like what sometimes, I like Showore. You get it? I campaign for him, it's not in my party. But the thing is this, sometimes I don't like some things he's talking about, like, showing as if is that over, he has that power. You get it, to do everything himself. No politician, even abroad. Look at US. You understand? Look at in US. Look at in Europe. Look at, there's always at a point there's a time in which they have to form a coalition, form a merger, form this and that. You get it, because they have the interest of their country in their heart. Some of them will shelve their ambition in order for their country to move forward, but not in Nigeria. This PDP that is talking that they are brand. Why didn't they win 2023? Or why is many of their governors defecting? That's the thing. Now,
the 2023, I feel the votes were shared that between the Labour Party and PDP. If you had combined what was gotten by the Labour Party and the PDP, Tinubu will not be the president now.
It's not the same brand they are talking, because it shows that they have too much confidence and it's killing them.
Who has too much confidence? PDP.
Yes. Okay. That's why Obi had to leave that place. Why did they allow him to? Because they believe where you can leave if you want. Okay. That's why he left. Because there could have been negotiation, but they believe if you leave, you can leave. You are not important. We will do it ourselves. And then they eventually, succeeded in breaking down, their vote.
Others feel that Obi was ambitious. He wanted the ticket, and that's why he left.
The guy, ordinarily, with the guy's profile.
Okay.
If every time I've not met him, you get it. I'm not even in his party, but I like people who has the what it takes to take us to the next level. You get it? And I saw when I check his profile and the way he talks, I saw that he has that quality to really move this country forward. You get it? For example, he never borrowed a single kobo. Even Lagos State, as rich as Lagos State is, that without federal government money, Lagos State can survive and do very well. Do you know we have debt every year? They borrow almost every time. I'm talking about Lagos. Lagos can, without federal government allocation, Lagos State can do very well.
Yes, they don't need a federal allocation.
But they'll get location.
They were number one in the recent data that was released for 2024.
They will collect allocation. Apart from that they have internal generated revenue that can do very well. You get it? They will collect allocation, and they will still collect loan. You wonder why. You get it? That's why that you can do very well without all this money. The federal government money should be something like, maybe sovereign. You have a sovereign account that you use for special things. No, they still go and borrow. But this man, when he ruled, when he governed his state, he never borrowed one kobo, and then he moved the state forward.
Couple of people will not agree with you.
I don't care. Everybody may not agree, but when it comes to even America, some people say America borrowed. After America, go and see what America is growing about when it comes to debt. Do you know that is one of the reasons why Trump is trying to generate money in order to pay the debt? Do you know how much they are growing concerning the debt that America is?
Yeah, but countries borrow. It's not a new thing.
Listen to me very well.
I'm listening to you, Mr. Lawal.
Let me tell you what happens to borrowing. But I'm not saying borrowing is wrong, but I'm saying that borrowing, you get it, the person who borrows is at a disadvantage when he's borrowing. He has no other option. That's why he's borrowing. If he had option, he would not have borrowed, because he knows, one, he has to pay back, and he will pay back with interest, and he will have to drop a collateral. And if he eventually did not pay, he's in trouble. He will become poorer if he eventually did not pay.
Okay.
You get it? So somebody who's borrowing, you get it, is not borrowing because it's a luxury. He's borrowing because He must at that moment. So it's not a luxury. You understand what I'm saying? That's why up to now, America is seriously growing because of their debt. People don't know, and they talk. Their economists talk about it every now and then. There are billions of dollars to pay, and they are groaning seriously about this debt. They wish to pay this debt off if they can. So, but here, our borrowing is a luxury to Nigeria. It's a luxury, and we have to pay interest. We have to pay the principal back. So, what is borrowing? What is borrowing? As if we are talking as if it's a luxury, as if it's something you can just handle and just handle like that. No. So any country who can manage itself without borrowing, you get it. It will do better than a country that is borrowing. If you are the lender, you are the lending country, you do better than the country that is borrowing. Is that not true? So why are we not borrowing? Why are we not lending? China is lending now. So why is China stupid for lending? Why is it not borrowing money from Nigeria? Why is Nigeria borrowing money from China? You get it? Why are we borrowing money from France? Why is France not borrowing money from us? If it is something that is fantastic, borrowing is fantastic. They're supposed to be borrowing from us now. So why are they not borrowing? Why are they the one lending us? To put us into a tight corner and take advantage. Because a lender takes advantage of the borrower. And this man ruled a state for 8 years without borrowing, and nobody complained that he didn't pay their salary. Nobody complained that he didn't do what he's supposed to do. How many of those governors all over the state, all over this country, can come up and tell us what they have used the money they borrow for? Many of them will be telling us things that don't really exist. You get it? So he has that quality, and when he talks, he doesn't talk like an Igbo man.
Who doesn't talk like an Igbo man?
Obi. He doesn't talk like he talks like a Nigerian. I've listened to him many times. He doesn't talk like an Igbo man. He talks like a Nigerian. He doesn't talk like somebody who says, sometimes Igbos will say that they are marginalized. He doesn't talk about that. He talks about the way to move the whole country forward to the next level. So I respect him for that. And that's why I see him as somebody who has one of the, in fact, if not the highest profile to actually really rule this country. That's that. So when it comes to this country, we need to put the politicians need to put their, in fact, not only politicians, even the masses need to put their personal interests aside. Don't be divided by tribalism. Don't be divided by religion level. Don't be divided by, even sometimes some people say Muslim. What do you mean by Muslim ticket? Is Muslim and Christianity the only religion in this country? We still have the traditional worshippers. Why don't we have them ruling the country? Why are they not complaining that, okay, we should have a Christian versus traditional ruler, or maybe traditional worshippers, or maybe traditional worshipper being president and maybe Muslim being vice or whatever? Why are we not having that? Because they are not in this line of this thing that these politicians have turned the country into, religion, religious division, cohesion, that we now see ourselves as divided, as if we don't go to the same market.
Well, in a pivotal development with far-reaching implications for regional security and international justice, Finnish authorities have approved the extradition of Simon Ekpa, the controversial Finnish-Nigerian agitator, to Nigeria. The transfer is scheduled for July 15, 2025, following the ruling of the Pajat District Court in Lati on April 18, 2025. Now, Ekpa, who has long styled himself as the Prime Minister of the self-declared Biafra Republic government in exile, has been a central figure in the resurgence, all right? Now, contrary to persistent reports in some media across the country and some government statements, Simon Ekpa is not affiliated with the indigenous people of Biafra. You remember that there were talks that when he appeared in the Finnish court, he said that the name, Prime Minister and Biafra, it's something that he just couched. He called it a social media content. That's a social media content creator name. And IPOB has on several occasions distanced themselves from Simon Ekpa and his activities. But while he was in the court, when he was arrested in Finland, he said that he was part of IPOB. So, well, as it stands now, Simon Ekpa is not affiliated with the indigenous people of Biafra, which has repeatedly dissociated itself from him. IPOB has maintained that it has no factions and does not recognize Ekpa's authority or activities. So instead, Ekpa leads a group known as Autopilots. It's called a self-formed group known as Autopilot. Has been linked to criminal activities, as you know, the fact that with the Biafran Liberation Army, a network, according to the government, accuses of kidnappings, assassinations, enforcing violent sit-at-home orders in Nigeria's southeast. And critics argue that labeling him as part of IPOB is both misleading and dangerous, as it conflates a non-violent group with violent extremists. So we know that he was arrested in Lahti, Finland in November 2024. But the big question is, Ekpa's extradition was not without legal challenges. Finland traditionally does not extradite its citizens outside the EU or Nordic region. However, after Nigeria presented compelling evidence under the Rome Statute, ratified by both nations, a rare agreement was reached. Finnish authorities emphasized that the ruling complied with international law and due process. Now, at the time when this thing happened, a couple of persons say it's better for Simon Ekpa to remain in Finland, to be remanded there, whatever trial they want to do, to be remanded there. That him being extradited to Nigeria may bring up a resurgence of the whole Nnamdi Kanu situation. You may now have persons wanting to say, sit at home, release Simon Ekpa, especially his followers, and that the Southeast has been troubled with a lot of insecurity, although a couple of persons believe that it was planted. The insecurity in the Southeast was planted. So how do you react to this? Do you think he should be extradited? The Nigerian government wanting him to come back home and facilitating that process, will it change anything? Insecurity in the Southeast is still on, despite the fact that he has been in custody of the Finnish government. So where does it, what the priority of the government in this situation, where does it stand? If he is extradited, don't you think that it will reawaken whatever insurgency that had already commenced in the Southeast? Or is it not possible for him to remain there and for whatever punitive measures that wants to be carried out based on whatever evidence they have against him to be used? I mean, how do you react to this development?
I wish that energy, that energy, before I go to full discussion, one, I wish that energy they use in this
extradition process.
They could have used it within Nigeria and then get all these terrorists, and because somebody was the army was telling us that the new terrorist is not actually new. You've been monitoring him. So you've been monitoring, you know this man, you've been monitoring him for years, and you are telling us now. That means something else is going on here. If you could monitor him, you know him to be so like this, and then up to this level of years, you could not bring him to book, you could not stop him, and you are telling me we know him now. Like if he's selling pepper, you know, selling pepper by the roadside, we know him, somebody selling pepper. Is that what you get it? With the energy you use in extraditing Nigerians that you believe, I mean, people you believe have cause problem for the government. If you have 10% of this energy being used across the country, this security issue will have died down by now.
Exactly. It
will have died down, because for you to go to another country to have all the information, get all the, then what about the one in your country?
And process his extradition.
I mean, then second, this Simon Ekpa, you went to the court, you get it, you did the court processing. Why don't you do the same court processing for Kanu? You get
like the proper legal channels, right?
Why didn't you buy through the proper legal channel for this same man? I mean,
but do you think security-wise, is the right thing to extradite him to Nigeria? I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
I'm still going to.
Well, don't you think factions? Well, I don't know if it's the right cause. What would it be? How would they facilitate the trial? I mean, if it's in Finland, his trial will be facilitated. There are permutations that there will be no form of inducement. But if he comes here, things will be induced.
That's why they want him to come. It's easier when he's here now, and for you to, do
it's easier when he's here.
What is easier for the government when he's here? You know what they do with our judiciary here and everything like that. But over there, you can't do that now. You can't do that. You get, that's why it's easier when you want them in Nigeria, and then you can go on with what you want to do and business as usual. You can't do that in another country. Remember Igboho case? They wanted him extradited, and the president said, no, bring your case to Benin here. You get it? Let's try it. And he was tried there and he was freed. If you're in Nigeria, that would have been there for now. You will still be there by now. You get it? No, so that's what I say, that they are so concerned about bringing these people. Samuel Ekpa is not even the headache of this country. He's just talking over the social media. You get it?
No, they are ascribing his talks and activities to a lot of killings that occurred in the south.
What about the Bello Toji? That one it's not a, you know.
Hey, and I'm wondering, because he has not been caught. I mean, if they could process this and have it happen.
This guy talk all over. He's even using Nigerian phone. He's not even using Finland's phone. He's not even using the internet. He's using Nigerian phone to make us and do whatever. They use it to collect a ransom and do. They even impose a fine on communities. That means to let you know that they have offices they have their own base offices in those communities. That's why they can impose fine, because somebody must collect the fine now.
So I like the question you asked. Why that same energy? Is that same energy not applied in capturing Bello Turji, who has been killing this new person that is called Mahmouda?
They've known him for long.
So
I mean,
if we have an accurate security intelligence agency that can go through the process or whatever, all the way without in ensuring that Samuel Ekpa is extradited, the Finnish court has been able to eventually approve it. Why is that same process not applied in curbing insecurity?
I don't understand.
Does this not validate the claims that this insecurity is deliberate?
That's what is good, because now look at Europe. For you to go to Europe and extradite somebody is a very, very lengthy task.
It is actually very lengthy. I remember the chief of defense staff, Christopher Musa, actually, I remember when he did the interview concerning Simon Ekpa, he made reference to the fact that they will do all they can to ensure that the Finnish court or the Finnish government extradites him, and they began the process. It takes a lot of legal processes, and it's worked. If in July he's meant to be extradited to Nigeria, for example, you remember Kyari, the super cop, he has a case with the FBI. Yeah. I was wondering why they have not facilitated for him to be extradited. The FBI wanted him to come and report, to their court there. Yes. The Nigerian system said, you know what, we have a case too with him right here. Let's be done with it before you guys can have anything to do with it. So are we seeing selectivity in how these cases are being treated?
That's what we are seeing now. That is what
exactly a super cop was obviously caught red-handed.
In fact, with video
evidence.
So that nobody we saw the video all over the place, not one, not twice, of 2 cases. And then up till now, in fact, I think it's been granted bail. I don't know, so is that something like that? You get it now, and the whole thing seems to.
No, he was granted bail to go, and I think when his mother died, they allowed him to go for the mother's burial. It was so they said he has been on good behavior. And when the Kuje prison was broken into, can you remember when it was broken into? Then a lot of the prisoners escaped. They said he stayed, and so for that, they gave him that respite to go bury his mother. For the first time, I heard that you could actually be given reprieve to go for something personal. Now the thing is, don't you consider Simon Ekpa's extradition to Nigeria a security breach, because he has loyalists and he has supporters?
I'm not even going to talk about whether security breach or not. I'm going to talk about this same constitution. I'm going to talk about justice and fairness. I'm going to talk about equality and equity. You get it? Equity. I'm going to talk about accountability. Because accountability doesn't mean about money only. It means about that you do something fairly. That is a part of accountability. You get what I'm saying? Now, the question is this thing, is it fair to all? Now,
when you say this thing, is it fair to all in the concentration they give to these different issues? Okay.
If you said we'll get him out, extradited at all costs. Listen, when you say at all costs, that means you go even beyond the law to the from the lawful to the unlawful. Because at all costs means between lawful and lawful, we will get it done. You get? But in Nigeria here, we have worse criminals, moving.
Roaming. Yahaya Bello's case has been mute. We've not heard anything about it. We've not heard anything about Yahaya Bello's case. So many of them. So many of these things.
So many. Even all these bandits, we call bandits, terrorists.
They're all terrorists.
Fulani terrorists. I use Fulani terrorists. You get it? They are Fulani terrorists.
They said we shouldn't profile them.
No, it's not a profile.
All Fulanis that are terrorists.
See, let me tell you something. Who is a terrorist? There's a farm. Somebody, a whole community has a farm, and then you send your cattle into the farm, and then you destroy. Are you not a terrorist? Are you not terrorizing the people of the community? So what is terrorist? Who is a terrorist? You get it? So you get what I'm saying? You have 1,000 people who farmed, and that's their lively, everything about them. You send your cattle into that farm and destroy it. Have you not terrorized the people of the community? You have terrorized, so you are a terrorist. Terrorist doesn't mean every time you carry gun. As long as you cause mayhem to people, you get it, in large number of people of like, you are a terrorist. So we have Fulani terrorists who go to destroy people's farm, and then people, they render them poor, a whole community. You get it? So let's put it that side. Now, what I'm saying that if you have this energy that the government is using, you get it. That means if you can go extra mile, get people you want to get from outside country, you want to tell me you don't have enough information, resources, intelligence to get people in the country. As I'm talking now, they know I'm here now. You get it? They know I'm here. It's just that God herself said that they should come and pick me. You get it? But they know I'm here. They know where you are. They know everywhere we are all. You get it? We can't hide from Nigeria. From anywhere we are, they can get us. So, and then we have people who impose. Look at the latest news. They said they impose, fine, taxes. Taxes, that's a terrorist. So they impose taxes on communities in Kwara State. They impose for you pay tax to terrorists. That means they have offices there now. They have tax office there. They have they have records, and because they must keep record of those who are paid, those who have not paid. So there must be record. So they have administrative office within those communities, and the government is telling us that they attack this, they attack that. I once said, if it's truly they attack all these people as they are saying, they should give us video, send videos to press. Let the press show, because when America attack, they will show everybody the video. Is that not true? Mm-hmm. When you see attack from, even when Iran wanted to attack Israel, they told some international communities, and they showed the whole world that they actually attack. Is that not true? And when Israel did its own, so they should show us the video of what they have been doing so far, so that we will know truly that they are doing this thing. Because I don't understand. There's no part of Nigeria that is a jungle. Every part of Nigeria is under a particular state, and the state has allocations. Even if the federal government is doing its own, what is the state governors doing? Because they have money. I said it before. I said intelligence is divided into two. Now, look at what Nigeria did about Samuel Ekpa. They didn't carry gun now. They use information. They use logistics. You get it? So, if the governors, they don't need to carry gun, they can use logistics. They can use informal. They have the resources to have a department that can do all those things without carrying gun, so that they can inform the people before this mayhem comes on board. Is that a crime? They can spend money on that now. So why are they not spending money on that? If you see their own convoy, you run away. You run. You can't even move close to them. You see their sophisticated weapon, the vehicle they use, new vehicles. You see the way those who compare to the other ones. So this thing, I'm looking at justice. I'm looking at constitution. I'm looking at the law. I'm looking at fairness. Is it fair to all?
We need to get reaction. So right now, does it mean that we will not be surprised to hear that Fubara has joined the APC if he initiated the conversation and the contact with the president while he was in London? And there are some conditions that will be met. So Fubara will definitely have to release, or rather deliver a reverse state for the president in 2027, because according to what is being said, they're trying to see how they can resolve the conflict between Fubara and the supposed defected lawmakers. That has to be resolved. Obviously, for that to be resolved, conditions will have to be met, and in the negotiation there will be an agreement that will be signed. So all the people in Rivers are organized protests for Fubara that show their support. Pandef and Asari Dokuban, or are we saying all of that effort is in vain? We've not heard. Fubara has not told us, but from his tone in the Easter message and from the report we're getting from the media aide in the presidency, who refused to disclose his name. When you see information like that, they just drop it in the media. They may not say their name, but it's obviously from them. So could it be that when we hear about those PDP governors, that maybe Fubara is one of them?
That's why I said I'll be, me as a person, I'll be totally disappointed in the man. Second, most of the people in the state will be totally disappointed in him. You get it? Third, some people in Nigeria will be disappointed in him, and in diaspora they will be disappointed. Why?
It's not about. It's politics.
No, see, the way we talk about politics, we are not doing politics in this country.
Did you hear what Fubara said? Wike said it's the game.
See,
did you hear what Wike said about the game? It's all about the game.
Esther, we are not doing politics in Nigeria. This is not politics. If you are talking about politics, you talk about politics in Europe. You talk about politics in UK. Don't you see their own politics?
No, Nigeria's politics is unique to its
environment.
It's not
politics. What do you mean by unique? Somebody is doing something.
I said it's unique to its environment.
No.
It's peculiar to Nigeria or with the political actors, how they do what they do.
Excuse me.
Okay.
You want to, a man who started dressing as a woman, can you call that person a woman? Because he's dressing like a woman. Can you call the person a woman? Are you getting what I'm saying? A man that is dressing like a woman, tie a tie and put on a wrapper and everything, can you call the person a woman? He's still a man now. He's just doing something abnormally. So our own now, we are not doing politics. We are doing something that is abnormal, and we have not been able to define it ourselves. You get it? We have not been able to define it. See, in before Skoll can become prime minister of Germany. Sorry about the pronunciation. I don't know whether we pronounce it well. Olaf Scholz.
Yes.
Olaf Scholz. You see that there was a coalition in the house. You notice that there's a coalition. Now the person that is coming in, there will still be coalition. You get it? Now, is it wrong when you do coalition? But here we look at coalition as evil. I can stand alone on my own. It's evil. It's evil. We talk about merger as something that's evil. It's devilish. As if, what is wrong about that? What's wrong? And our politics here, any small to go to court. How many times have they gone to court in UK when the prime minister emerge? How many times you see them going to court? It's in Nigeria. It's in Nigeria. So what we are practicing keep causing a lot of problem with us here. It keep causing a lot of problems. That's what we talk about, double standard. We talk about two Nigerians in one country. But that's what we talk about. Because each time people were killed, you see governor coming out to condemn it, the president will condemn it, the army will condemn. Is it condemning it that is the way forward?
We need to take reactions right now, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get your reactions. You're currently listening to the Evening Rush on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. These are the hot topics that we've been able to look into, and we will get more explanations of the cause, but we need to get reactions right about now. Yes. It's 90 minutes gone past the hour of 8 o'clock. The number to call is 080-3692-9933. 080-3692-9933. The WhatsApp number is 0817-1756-338. That is the WhatsApp number to send your messages to. Hello, good evening. How are you? Hello? Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, good evening. What is your name, sir?
Yeah, my name is Chike. I'm calling from Ekpa.
All right, Chike, please go ahead. Okay.
So I looked at it as in fact, Showore is our guy, but I'm going to suspend that guy.
Oh, why do you think so? Why do you think so? He's airing his opinion or whatever he thinks.
If you look at the way he was talking, it's not even
No, he didn't say Peter Obi picked him up. Oh, he didn't say Peter Obi picked him up. He didn't say that. He said that at the airport, he noticed Peter Obi alight. He came in through, will I call it economy, right? And they had a suitcase with him or something. And then he saw him move and go towards the back of the airport and saw about 10 convoy waiting for him. Now the thing is, people would call him vehicles.
What's wrong about that?
I don't. No. He's saying that Peter Obi is not as humble as he postulates. So that if you're a presidential candidate, you can have all the fleet of vehicles. That's what he's claiming.
Can you compare yourself to Peter Obi? Peter Obi did that really kind of security work, wealthy man before he going to become the governor. So that is not the case here. So what I'm just trying to say about Obi and Atiku is that Obi is the best man to do the job at this point. But politically, if Atiku may likely, insist that they want to contest. I see because Obi is not that desperate to to become anything, but I see Obi as he might later be the vice president because the governors don't want that.
It all depends on what the party wants, what PDP will decide to do at the national convention. A lot of them don't want Atiku to be the party flag bearer anymore. So
the two guys, Obi and Atiku, will pull the weight that the PDP may not.
Well, let's say Obi will join the PDP. We don't know if Obi will join the PDP. He has not said anything in that regard, and none of them have disclosed about.
I'm telling you that PDP might not even be the party to pick the best candidate. So it might be another different party. So the governors are all compromised. If you see the way they are talking, you know that they are all working for Tinubu. So and again, Esther, you see the security of the stuff is something that has gotten to an extent that the only option those communities that are attacked is just to defend themselves. There is nothing anybody can do at this point. The government are not ready to do it because of calculation of how politics will go so that it will favor them. And they kept quiet. All those evil old men kept quiet and allowed people to be dying. They know what to do. Tinubu have more than the capacity to stop all those nonsense. But because of political calculation, people are dying. So the only option we have is to let them defend themselves. Let the governor buy weapons and give to them to defend themselves against all those people.
Good evening. Thank you very much, Chike, for calling. All right, 08036929933. That's the number. 08036929933. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir. What's your name? Can you speak louder, please? You sound very low. Project.
Mr. Martin.
Mr. What?
Martin.
Mr. Martin, can you speak louder, please? Obviously, your voice is very low.
Yeah. I can speak very well. I can speak.
All right, Mr. Martin, kindly call back. You sound very low. It's important that we hear you. 08036929933. That's the number to call. Hello, good evening. How are you? What's your name, please? Hello?
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. What's your name?
My name is Ekpa. I'm calling from Ogun State.
All right, Ekpa, please go ahead.
Regarding the Ekpa issue.
Yes.
Why is it that whenever it comes to what concerns the Igbos, the Nigerian government are always proactive in doing their work, but when it is other region, they will just treat it with nonchalant attitude. There was names that United Arab Emirates listed that are the ones sponsoring insecurity in Nigeria. Nigerian government have not done anything about those people. None of them have been arrested. But when it comes to Samanekpa and Namdekalo, they always ask to go out to do everything possible to make sure they hunt them down. They negotiate with bandits in the north. They release the repented Boko Haram. But nobody from Southeast among the IPOB has been repented IPOB. None of them. Why are they taking Igbos like that? And they say you are one Nigeria. It's unfair. Nobody will take that in. There is injustice, and that injustice must stop. That's what I have to say. Thank you.
All right. Wow. 08036929933. That's the number. 08036929933. Hello, how are you?
Hi, sister.
Hello, good evening. How are you? Oh wow, we've got a call in it. Hello, good evening. What's your name? How are you?
Hello, Esther. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. What's your name? All right, sir. Please go ahead.
Esther, I'm very grateful. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter in arrears to you too, sir.
So, Esther, unfortunately, I don't know, the Nigeria problem is not what I'm just talking. I just want to greet you first because this is there, we just always talking. I don't know, the thing it just gets me out of myself. I don't even just let at least go for the country. Because this country, don't even they treat us well. Unfortunately, I'm looking at it, especially what I'm hearing this about of Simon Ekpa.
Yeah.
I don't understand. So he just get people where they treat they treat him like they don't belong to this country. He get where they will pamper like they just then become the head of the country. So may God help us, my sister.
All
Thank you
right.
for a good job.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, good evening, Joval. Hello, how are you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, a little bit. How are you? Hello, Joval.
Better now.
Wow.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Hello?
I can hear you, Joval.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening. How
Good
are
evening.
you?
I took my time to watch that. My balance with when
You did what?
Mr. Lawa.
Ah, Joval.
Mr. Lawa. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Yes,
hear you.
yes, yes.
Good evening, sir.
Greetings to you. Esther, I took my time to watch that narrowcast by Shore.
Okay.
It was structured to market it out.
It was structured to do what?
Nothing else that's
All right,
Can you
Mr.
hear me?
Joval, can you call
Right.
call the WhatsApp number?
Hello?
Sorry,
Can you hear me?
normal call line, please. Hello, good evening.
Hello? Can you hear me?
My sister, happy Easter.
Thank you very much. Happy Easter in arrears. What's your name, sir?
My name is Mr. Okakunwanja.
All right, Mr. Okay, how are you?
I'm good.
All right, please go ahead.
Just want to tell my brother, Mr. Kunda, to take her. Politicians never deal with them. Forget, they don't think about you. They're not thinking about you. They're not thinking about you, bro. So, to be a governor, you don't have that red pen. You can do anything to see handle that red pen. No? So, I'm not surprised. This is the APC that you enter. It's okay, no problem. We'll be watching. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you for calling. All right, thank you. Hello, good evening. How are you? Hello.
Hello, Esther.
How are you? Good evening.
I'm fine, and you?
I'm fine.
Yeah, this is Remy.
Calling from where?
Akoka, as usual.
All right, Remy, please go ahead.
Greetings to your guest.
Thank you.
Shore is a rabble rouser. I could recall before the election, he was on a particular forum, and I asked him. He was before I asked him questions. He talked about Tinubu. He told us the things we know about Tinubu, his past, same as Atiku and other politicians. Then I asked him, okay, this Obi you have headache with. Tell me one thing I can verify that he had done something incriminating. He couldn't mention one thing. And I told him I can't support him because he has never held any political position compared to Obi. The next thing, he was comparing himself to Trump. But Trump had never held any position, but he won. Was it Trump? Is Nigeria America? So Nigeria is not an SUG platform. You should go and relax. And what he accused Obi of, I think he's the one beauty of it. It's being used to, the way people with, every time he wakes up, the next person to attack is Obi. I've never heard him talk about Kwakwanso. Is Obi the person on seat? Lastly, on the issue of him saying he saw Obi, I know he'll be the first person to use his phone to record. How come he just running with conjecture? Can we verify what he said about him, seeing him and all that? This is his lifestyle. People had run into this guy several times at the airport. So you can't tell us what you know. It's paining him because all they are saying about him, people can easily verify now on their phone. So if you keep saying things about someone and can't verify it to be truth, can you force yourself down people's truth? You can't. What is that thing that is attracting people to Obi? They should try and get that into integrity. Those kids, Obi paid their school fees while he was governor. Those he gave his son education to. And now adults, they are the ones singing his praise up and down. I want them to think otherwise. They experienced the son education. No matter how you want to cook up stories, they experience good education under him. He's saying all Obi was looking for this facade. You can't tell people what they experience. He said things he built were substandard, but people who experience this are still alive. So you can't cook up stories. You can't force lies down people's throats. So you get. So, and lastly, you said the reason the opposition couldn't win was because they didn't merge. I think that is not factual. 3 major candidates had direct numbers of votes. One of them won River State, but they could declare someone else. Was that because of Maja? The winner wasn't declared. The answer is no. So let's not run with the wrong narrative. The election was lost not because people didn't merge. Someone was declared to be winner of a state. Who
No,
we
I
all know
didn't
never
say. I
that
didn't
state.
say. I say the supporters of the PDP believe that if the votes were not divided between the Labour Party and Atiku, that right now, right, you would have
Is
had
that
the
factual?
PDP
Or is
candidate
that
being the
factual?
president. You said?
How factual is that information? We all know it's not
Know,
true.
it's just like how you're calling in to give your own opinion or perception. That's how a lot of persons to feel
Hold on.
about it. So that's what I reeled out. It's just like how you have different ideals or opinions to these issues, and then you
Oh
reel it
yeah,
out. So you
let me back
clarify.
my own opinion with the facts out there.
Okay.
According to INEX IREV, who won Rivers State?
APC.
According to the IREV, not Yakubu.
All right.
Oh yeah, counter that now. According to the IREV, who won Rivers State?
All right.
So let us run with facts, not opinion, please.
All
You
right,
guys are the
Remy.
media. Let's run with facts. I
All
know
right,
you are
Remy.
scared of being picked by DSS, but let's run with facts, please.
Remy,
Good
thank you
evening.
very much for calling. Good evening. Hello, good evening. How are you? Hello, good
Esther.
evening. Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good
How are
evening.
you?
I'm good. And you?
I am fine.
Thank you. My name is Chukwudonso from Oshodi.
All right, sir.
I wanted to call you the other day. You was talking about merger,
Okay.
coalition.
Hmm.
Yeah. So what I'm about to tell you is that you see, anything merger in this country cannot work. I'm not going to call any person name, but I heard that a president of a country said that he spent his fortune, he spent his treasury, life treasury, to be on a seat. You know, he invited some traditional rulers and some other people and made that statement. So when somebody said he spent his life treasury, he spent fortune to be on a seat. So what do you think about it? Judiciary has been bought, security the same, and every other sections. Do you know how much he paid to be on that place, on that seat?
Who paid, please? Who paid? Oh, let's run with facts. I beg.
Yes.
Let's
No.
run with facts.
I'm not accusing any person. I'm just telling you. I'm using it to justify our country, Nigeria.
Okay.
If that happened in Nigeria, if that is the situation in Nigeria, do you know that we don't have any opposition anymore? So that is just what you understand.
All right. Thank you very much for calling.
That is my opinion.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hello. Good evening, Tony. How are you?
I'm good.
Yes,
And you?
I'm fine. Happy Easter
Yeah.
in arrears.
I wish you the same.
All right.
Esther, let me start. I always start with some kind of a little bit of joke. Yeah.
Okay.
If I see where you park your suitcases, I will take the suitcases.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you always come out with a good. In short, why don't you go into fashion?
Why?
So I will take. I will be happy to take the suitcase and leave you.
Oh, really? Interesting,
Yeah.
Tony. Okay. Please go
Yeah.
ahead.
So it's just a compliment.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I greet Mr.
Lawal Ekundara.
Lawal. Yeah. So Esther, you see, there is the game that they are playing, and that game is very simple. Any reasonable politician in Nigeria is supposed to know it. You know, they told us that FC federal capital doesn't matter. It's just like one of those states. But you see, they are covering it, and they put Wike there too, so that Wike can do what he did at Port Harcourt. That's why he's there. You will see that in 2027, that FCT will matter. And now the issue of Rivers State is that they want Fubara. All this game you see is that for Fubara to deliver that state to them. Now, these are the two things. Now, coming to the issue of that, a guy just said something about, and Lawal said it. Why is it that they spend all this energy only after one person? But there is a lot of them they could have captured only in a twinkle of an eye. Esther, I have said it here during to Precious. You see your mobile phone that you are using. Anywhere you are, there is a pin there. They know where you are. That you block your number and call somebody, and your number didn't show, and does not mean that they don't know who called. It's registered in the system that you called. So all these people are making all these things. Insecurity is going on, and just like a caller that called before, why is it that all these people have been a kind of rehabilitated, but those that they did whatever they did, Python dance and Cobra dance they did in Southeast, all of them, and those that they caught and they put them in jail, they have not even rehabilitated them. Okay, when they rehabilitate them, they put them in the military. What happened to the ones they caught in the Southeast? Where can they rehabilitate them? Oh, no, they don't need to put those ones in the military. Let them put them in civil defense. You can see the injustice. Sometimes there's a time. Sometimes when I turn the radio, the whole I will just switch it off because you start to hear the injustice that is going on. Look at the killings. Look at somebody demanding ransom, and you are telling me that they don't know the person demanding it account that money is being paid in. Are they fooling everybody? No. It's not that Nigeria, everybody doesn't want, people just want to live their life. Can you tell me, Esther, since you have been a Nigerian, what have you benefited of being a Nigerian? I keep on asking people this question. You can see that's the reason why when you compare the Western world, when they want to demonstrate, all of them will come because they are benefiting something from the state in one way or the other. But in Nigeria, if you call a demonstration, everybody will go in because they don't want to die for nothing. There is a video circulating, Nigerians who are serving in the USA Army, who jumped out and joined the army there, the food they are giving them. See our Nigerians. Even the worst, that the one that makes my head go off is when I look at the police. Why are they like that? Their wives are they have wives and kids. Where are some of them buying their food? Are they getting a delivery in their barrack?
All right, Tony, we need to take other calls, all right? Thank you very much for calling on the Evening Rush. We sincerely do appreciate it. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Good evening. My name is Ifeanyi.
Ifeanyi, location, please.
From Ikodu.
All right, Ifeanyi, please go ahead.
Okay, first of all, I want to talk about Showore.
Okay.
I don't know if he has become a monitoring spirit. Say that he's monitoring P2B when he went to where he entered a convoy or something. See, P2B is not hiding himself. Even when he was a governor then, he knows how he reduced convoy. He's not moving. And if you can listen to P2B very well, criticize Tinubu on much convoy. And he's telling us that he saw P2B hiding himself, following the back, the ground. See, if he wants people to support him in 2027, it's not by criticizing another fellow opposition. Two of them and P2B should be an opposition fighting the present power, not fighting against his own brother that should be on opposition. That will not make him to get any followers. Among the P2B and the top, I'm not sure Tomore is up to top 5 or top 6. In the 2023 election. Why will you always be P2B? I saw P2B earlier this year, around my 2. He's moving with only 3 convoys. During his campaign, 3 convoys, 3 balls, 3 cars, 3. It's not more than that. Okay, if he went somewhere and see maybe P2B, people that knows him there decide to follow him. Okay, has he repeated twice? Maybe you have seen him somewhere else again with the most convoy. Not just fighting your fellow opposition. Fight the present power that are disturbing you, not facing another person. This will make him to lose more people. The ones he even got in 2023, 2027, he may lose more people. Instead of him fighting the right thing, he's fighting the wrong one. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, good evening. How are you? Welcome to the evening rush.
Esther,
Yes,
good
good
evening.
evening.
I'm
How
Mr.
are you?
I'm good.
How was your
You see,
Easter?
Well, not bad, my sister. Not bad, though.
All right, go
We
ahead.
welcome.
Remy.
You see, Tony is not a good team.
Can you come closer to your phone or your mic, whatever it is you're using at this time, please?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, come closer to it because you sound like you're far from your device.
Oh, I'm very okay. Can you hear me now?
Not too clearly, but go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me
Yes,
now?
it's better now. Yes, it's better now.
Okay, I was gonna say that Tony is not he's not a correct thief. He want to steal suitcase. If now me be him, now the owner of suitcase I go steal. So
thank you.
so now Obi is the only guy that you have to oppose to gain popularity. When I tell people the only thing that makes Tinubu sleepless is Peter Obi, they will tell me, oh, they will tell me I don't know what I'm saying. But the point for me here is this, Esther. You know, during the crisis in Kenya last year,
yes,
within that few weeks of protest, nearly $200 million gone out or left Kenyan economy because tourists that are booked to visit Kenya, they started canceling their booking because of the crisis that was there. And that was what forced the hand of the government to really attend to the protester. During summer, there was riots in the UK. And during that riot, nearly $1 billion pounds was leaving UK economy. And the government realized that, no, we can't lose this much. They swing into action and fought it up, everything get calm. What I'm saying is this, Esther, every human being with disabled bone in their body, they will not prioritize 2027 over the violence across this country called Nigeria. And look at the conversation. It looks like a gangsterized democracy, a motor park like democracy, where just scratch my back and you get what you want. It's no longer about due process. Now, they believe the electorate do not really matter because they are not talking to us. They are talking to themselves, forging alliance. I think Shore should take it easy. Shore is good as an activist. The fact that you are a fantastic activist cannot make you a good politician. He had contested twice for presidency. I don't think he had up to 100,000 votes, which means he is not popular with the electorate. Ever since they've been accusing Obi, none of them have been able to come up with a substantial allegation against him. The only offense they could accuse him of was like he's stingy, he's an Ijebu man, he was saving too much of money. After all, he saved money for his people. If they fool you, Nigerians, would you fool yourself? Now, Esther, before I leave, you know Simon Ekpa, yes. If his legal team are very, very strong, I believe his extradition will not succeed because the European Union have a policy. If the country extraditing European citizen too cannot assure him of fair hearing and justice, they will not let it happen. And evidence are there that he is not going to get a fair hearing in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Remy. Thank you for calling. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Esther, good evening.
Good evening, sir. What's your name?
It's me, okay, again. I want to tell
it's
you.
Who?
Mr. Okay calling.
All right, Mr. Okay. From what location, please?
From Ayetoro District.
All right, sir. Please go ahead again. You have just a few seconds.
I'm from Anambra State.
All right, go ahead, sir.
And I was in Anambra when Peter B was governor of Anambra State.
Okay.
I've met Peter B one-on-one. If the day I met Peter B, if they tell you that this is the governor of the state, he's still a governor then, no, you will not believe it. He came in, no siren, no nothing. About 3 cars came in. So rescue, honestly, I don't know why they're doing this to Nigeria. Peter B share buses to all the schools in Anambra State, all the secondary schools in Anambra State. He bought the buses from Industry Motors. The buses are still available because of it. You will still see them now. He bought computers. He makes school. So
that's so attractive to people. All the, let me just 12 seconds. All the secondary school in our Anambra State, he put them. Is either a reverend father will be the principal, or an administrator, or a pastor, is an administrator. The man loves education. He loves his house, and he loves security. These are the three things that I'm yearning for. He believes those people, all those people that he trained them, they are not university, they are not graduate. So show us to not a man God has blessed. Should not cause the person. P2B has been like this from the day one to today. So that's the only offense he committed, that he doesn't spend money. That's the offense they say he committed. They save a lot of money for Anambra State. So honestly, I don't know why they're doing this thing. The marketing, and we like suffering. They will do this in next year now, 2027 now. We'll continue like this. Anyway, only God will say, will know what will happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for calling. All right, let me take some messages right now. Pardon me if I don't take calls for a few minutes. I'm going to start on a text message. If they extradite Ekpa, I beg, make them de-radicalize and rehabilitate him too. Someone Ekpa and Kanu are agitating while Turuji Bello is working free. Koboko. All right, Koboko, well done for your message. I think we have more messages. Engineer Dele from Okeafa Solo. You see, this killing by Fulani headsmen in Plateau and Benue State is unfortunate. Go and write it down. It is the House of Fulanis that will cause problems for themselves in the future of Nigerians, because their actions will give other rights to other tribes in Nigeria to separate and give birth to many nations. I don't know when it's going to happen. It may not even be in this generation. Esther, good evening. What did you? Shue Gume is dying with Boko Haram. Nigerian government didn't say anything because he is not from Igbo land. Someone Ekpa living in another country is a problem to Nigerian government. My name is Wankwo Obonna. Obonna, please resend that message. I really don't know what you meant by that. Now let me go on to YouTube. All right, on YouTube, Ify Best Okoye, good evening, Esther. All right, thank you very much. We got that message. Little mistakes. Showara should at least go and contest for governorship in his state, and if he wins, he should do 4 years, and then we will see what he can do. Showara is Tinubu's boy and has been paid by Tinubu. But you hear him criticize the president a lot of times. I even played one of his criticism this evening. Okay, Little Mistake says he couldn't say that Obi embezzled any money. He couldn't say Obi did any bad thing, but always looking for how to spoil Obi's name to make his master Tinubu happy. Showara, keep mute, I beg. Jeff Fubara will not want to apologize to Wike, so his best option is to join APC. That way, Wike will have nothing against him. Chukwuemeka says Showore appears to be Tinubu's boy because he talks like someone who is looking for faults in Peter Obi by all means, knowing that he is the strongest opposition to Tinubu for now. Godfrey Oranusi says, why? Oh, well, I already explained that. LC Reeves, that's what he said, but sole administrator was doing something else. Whatever party Fubara wants to be, no problem. We like his leadership of connecting with his people. Kiki says, I hope Fubara does not compromise himself by giving Tinubu what he wants, rigging reverse elections. Olabest 007 says, bringing Simon Ekpa to Nigeria is an unwise decision. Why should they should let Finland deal with him there, because there are still some people loyal to him here. It may trigger more security breaches. Olabest says, and also think it's a waste of resources bringing him to Nigeria. Olabest, Esther Wachuku, why are you using hand fan? Michael Chinedum, is Tinubu make them know? Michael, calm down. Aloy Onoha, Esther, I agree to you. For now, Obi is the only hope we have, because I don't even trust the so-called Showore. All right. Somebody says Akodu Bola, VOP and Arise are the same Garagra Association of Noisemakers. What is your contribution to the conversation now? You're supposed to have made a pointer. If you say people are making noise, what is your own factual statement to make? We're speaking what is actually the fact here. So bring your own fact to counter any of the thing that has been said or any of the news out there. All right, Akodu Bola, calm down. Lawson Amadi, extradition of Simon Ekpa can be possible if he has dual citizenship with only Finnish passport. It won't be possible. Austin Chris, sorry for the hotness in the studio. Thank you very much. I was away for some time. Coming back a few weeks ago, Yes, she's no longer with us. Chukukba Ogbonnaya is too bad what they are doing to the Igbos. All right, I think that's all the messages on YouTube. So let me head on to WhatsApp very quickly. You have a live appearance. Wilfred from Surulere. What did you say? Okay, let me start from here. Good evening, all. Sure, by his posturing towards Peter Obi smacks of jealousy because his little gains before Obi emerged has further diminished. Peter Obi is more popular than him among the youths and is to his disadvantage. Good evening, Esther and the honorable guest. I'm Babiji from Urshidi. Esther, please. Okay. But thank you very much. Good evening, all. My question is, why do people always insert Peter Obi and Igbos in discussions anytime you have Showore? It's in the news. That's one of the hot topics we're looking into today. So if that's not what you want to listen to, apologies for that. Good evening. If Showore is saying he doesn't trust Peter Obi, then Peter doesn't trust Showore too. And please tell Showore to leave Peter Obi. Although Showore has joined some Nigerians, that Peter Obi is giving sleepless nights on a daily basis. Good evening. If the PDP chapter wants Peter Obi to join PDP, then PDP should suspend Wike because he's a spoiler. This is coming from Leo from Lagos. Dear Esther Machuku, please stop giving Showore airtime. He's a contrary opposition. He starts by criticizing Tinubu and then summarizes with Peter Obi. That's a telltale sign of a bigot. You don't start climbing a tree from the top. Let Showore go to Ondo State and test his popularity by contesting for the House of Rep or senatorial elections and leave Peter Obi alone. Anthony Oludare from Idimu. Mr. Ekundayo. Okay, Atiku lacks one important thing: right motive for presidential ambition. Remember the tweet he sent and retracted when Deborah was brutally murdered in the north, just to impress Muslim extremists. He also has desperation that defies national interest. Chiedu from Ogun State. Okay, thank you very much. I salute you, my gallantry and great female radio presenter, Lady Esther. Thank you. I hope you are highly motivated for this beautiful evening. The motivation messages for this beautiful evening: truly, having a count of people smarter than you is a blessing and not a threat. And if you are smartest in the room, then you are in the wrong room. God bless Nigeria. I really appreciate you and our gallant GM at VOP FM and Lady Chairman. Also, Mr. Ojedeji, for the good honor given to me and my colleagues today in your radio station. God bless you all. From Osimoral at the Lieutenant General T.A. Lagwaja Army Cantonment Ikeja. So Osimoral came to visit us today, and it was quite a pleasant view to see. He still works with the Nigerian Army. He's a patriot. He has been consistent. He's always giving us morale. Osimoral, thank you for coming today. We really, really do appreciate you coming to the studio. We love you. Thank you so much for actually being one of the voices that gives us hope. All right. Now, you know that on this program we try to make sure that you make money while we are lamenting Nigeria's problem. And if you have money you're keeping somewhere and you need to properly invest, we'll help you deal with that. So we have Kudos home right here in the studio. Kudos, how are you?
I'm very fine, Esther.
Good evening.
Esther.
Happy Easter in arrears.
I wish you the same. I'm also wishing every of our clients out there a happy Easter in arrears. Okay, the reason why I'm here today is also to remind those people out there, or our future client out there, that have their money piled up somewhere and they are thinking, where will I use this money? So I'm here to inform you that one of the best investments here on earth is earth itself, because it's the only investment that you can, in fact, that can outlive you. Because if you are looking at other investments, you can outlive them in a way, but you can't outlive a landed property. So that is why we are here today, to tell you to start investing in real estate. So where are the locations that we have? I'm going to be mentioning them to you right away. So in Lagos, we have in Ikorodu. Now, to be precise, we have in Agbowa Ikorodu. And the name of our estate in Agbowa Ikorodu is called Kudo City. Kudo City is currently going for just 1.5 million naira per plot. So with 1.5 million naira, you have a plot of land in Kudo City, Agbowa Ikorodu. And also in Omuketu Ekpe, we have the Kudos Heritage. Now, Kudos Heritage is divided into two. We have the phase 1 and the phase 2. So the phase 1 of Kudos Heritage is currently going for just 3.5 million naira per plot. With 3.5 million naira per plot, you have Kudos Heritage phase 1. And the phase 2 of Kudos Heritage is going for just 2.5 million naira per plot. So with 2.5 million naira per plot, you're going to have a plot of land in Kudos Heritage Phase 2. Also, we have Kudos Heights. Kudos Heights is also located in Omuketu Ekpe, and Kudos Heights is currently going for just 4.5 million naira. 4.5 million naira. So with 4.5 million naira, you have a plot of land in Kudos Heights, Omuketu Ekpe. Now the number to call is 0905 904 7514. 0905 904 7514 in Delta State. Now let me take you to Delta State, where we have the Fairview Estate Phase 2, which is currently going for just 2.5 million naira. Now, Fairview Estate Phase 2 is located in Ibuzo main town, and is opposite the Admiralty University, and it's going for just 2.5 million naira. Also, we have Kudos Heights, which is along Zion Road in Ibuzo, and Kudos Heights is going for just 1.5 million naira per plot. And we also have Kudos Court. Kudos Court is also located in Ibuzo, and Kudos Court is going for just 4.5 million naira per plot. Now, Kudos Court is a buy and build estate. Now, the beauty of all our estates in Delta State is that they are very close to the Asaba International Airport, and they are also close to the first and second Niger Bridge, just 15 minutes away from the first and second Niger Bridge, and also 15 minutes away from the Asaba International Airport. That's left and right, 15 minutes away from the Asaba International Airport. So the number again to call is 0905 904 7514. 0905 904 7514. And in Enugu, the Fairview Estate Phase 1 is already sold out. That's the Phase 1, which is located in Udobudo, is already sold out. So we have the Fairview Estate Phase 2, which is located in Amokwenike, and is going for just 2.5 million naira per plot. So if you need estate, if you need property in any of this location, we are just one call away, and the number to call is 0905 904 7514. 0905 904 7514. Now we go for inspection here in Lagos every Thursdays and Saturday. Thursdays and Saturdays we go for inspection. We pick you up at the nearest location to you, and we bring you back at the nearest bus stop to your home. So our inspection is free. We want you to come and see what you are paying for. Come and see before you invest or before you go for verification. And our inspection days in Enugu and in Asaba Delta State is every day, Mondays to Saturday, excluding on Sundays. Monday to Saturday, excluding Sunday. And here in Lagos, our office address is located at number 171 Egbeda Idimo Road, Abule Udu bus stop, Egbeda, Lagos. 171 Egbeda Idimo Road, Abule Udu bus stop, Egbeda, Lagos. And you can get us on Instagram and on Facebook. We are at Kudos Homes Limited. If you are the social media freak, at Kudos Homes Limited on Instagram and on Facebook. And our website is there for you to get more information, which is www.kudoshomesLimited.com. Now let me call the number again. The number to call is 0905 904 7514. 0905 904 7514.
Kudos Homes, thank you very much for that enlightenment. We sincerely do appreciate you, and we're hoping that proper investment is done for safety, security, and enjoy their investment in land and properties. So thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, Esther.
You're welcome. Mr. Lawa Ekundai, what's your final take?
My final take is that the Samuel Ekpa thing that seems to that seems to be like is our main. It's our headache as masses.
Our headache?
I know, I say as if the government is making it to look like our headache as masses. It's not our headache. You get it? Our headache is the bigger one that is already working freely in the country. We are not bothered about what Samuel Ekpa. If they want to, they can even go to Finland and try him. It's even better. You get it? Whatever they want to, you go there and do it, so that here they can face what we have here and solve it. So I will not bring another one and add it to what we already have here, and then another thing, because Nigerians, we want to breathe.
Okay. We need to breathe, though. With the president said in his campaign, let Nigerians breathe. President, please let us breathe. My name is Esther Machko, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on the Evening Rush. We'll definitely continue the Evening Rush tomorrow. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at VOP 903 FM. Good evening and thank you for listening.